Here from ACAP. Welcome to today's update. With the Australian CPI coming out tomorrow, we really just want to have a look at the Australian dollar. There's a couple conflicting things happening price wise. Structurally, at the moment, if you are looking at moving averages, it does sort of tend to tell you that there potentially could be more selling. And this is a little bit confusing after yesterday's strong bullish bar and latest support hold. With further support down at this box here. But we have a lot of resistance here, and that's the level that we are quite interested in on the short term. And we'll zoom in on it in a moment. So we can see that the Australian dollar to the US dollar still remains overall quite range bound. We can just see here, zooming out, we can see that range in play, and it's been quite prolonged now. We can see that we had this downtrend. We had nice support holds here, a bit of an ending diagonal, had a nice breakout, and then we've had our first real move down to forming our first higher low. And this is really the key support sitting here. And we have this short to medium support sitting here around the bottom of the range. And then we have this range pattern here with resistance going up to this level at the top of the box. And we can see what made things a little bit more interesting yesterday is this nice strong bullish bar. Went all the way up and tested the top of the box. We've seen a further new test today. And we are seeing a little bit of rejection there from sellers. So I think that the real key here will be obviously the US dollar overnight, and the dollar remains pretty range bound itself at the moment. It's sort of trying to hold on to an uptrend, sort of a mirror image of what we're seeing in this position here. If we just flip that upside down, it sort of looks quite similar to where the USD is at the moment. The other key is going to be tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. and that's the Australian CPI. So we have the quarter on quarter, which they're looking for 0.8%, which is lower than the last 1.2%. Then we have the year on year. They're looking for 3.7%, which is sharply lower than the 4.3 we saw last time. And they're looking for the trim mean CPI quarter on quarter, 0.9%, which is a little bit lower than the 1.2% we saw last time. So really, depending on what comes out, if we do see any big discrepancy in that CPI data, that could and should have a pretty high impact on the AUD, discounting what the dollar is really doing at the time of release. And what we really can see here is overall we still have a bit of a bearish trend structure in place, a lot of resistance here, a breaker trend move down, but we do have a pretty strong looking rebound off previous support. We've had a nice little rally which has gone at 1, 2, 3 up and still has really depressed into this resistance here. So if we do see CPI come in, below what's expected tomorrow, below 3.7 or at 3.7, I would probably expect sellers to really start to kick in, and that would also probably start to more crust into the idea of a potential, rate cuts coming maybe sooner rather than later. Also, just if CPI is continuing to drop, that also will aid the RBA and the government, so that, to a lesser degree, in helping with the current cost of living issues that are going on here. So I think the RBA would look to cut rates as quick as they could if certain factors were allowing them to, and CPI being one of those. If it does come in lower than expected, that could put forward that case. If we do see as expected or slightly higher, then that could be quite interesting. And if the dollar does continue to remain soft, expect maybe we'll be looking for a price move to come, to move up, break out of this consolidation here, and maybe come up and break through this downtrend. Really can confirm a downtrend break with a new move up. Could even see a test some of these previous highs here, but we'll just have to see what how much drive there is on a higher price if it does come in. With the trend at the moment, it wouldn't be surprising if we did see as expected or maybe slightly lower. That's sort of my gambling call. And then if we did see that, it could put more pressure on the Aussie, and we could see a new move down. Now, if we do see a move down, the keys for sellers are going to be breaking this short-term support here, and then getting back down to test and potentially break this level here. I think for that to really happen, we're going to need the dollar to be a little bit firmer as well. I think if we had lower than expected interest rates with a firmer dollar, that would really set things off for sellers. But if we do have a lower than expected dollar and higher than, and then we have higher or at CPI data that could really help buyers. And then if we have something in the mix, I think it'll really just come down to how things are seen. If the dollar is higher, CPI as expected, maybe a bit of a move lower, and you sort of get where I'm going with that. So I think they're the keys there. We need to see a break of this resistance here to really show the buyers are in control, and then we need a break at these levels here to show the sellers are in control. If we do see a move higher, we'll probably be looking for resistance to come in at these areas here if we did see a test there to the upside. So we really will see what happens in terms of the this week's key guide starting tomorrow on Wednesday. Then we do have a few other key things coming out that could affect the dollar with the FOMC and the non-farm payrolls on Friday. But let's see locally what the drivers are tomorrow with CPI and if it has an impact on the current price structure that we're seeing at the moment. So thank you very much for your time. I wish you all the best with your trading, and bye for now.